started out as a running back and like a linebacker, defensive back, and I just loved running the ball. And then one year, I think around 3rd or 4th grade, we didn't have a quarterback. And the other coaches, were like, asked my dad, hey, do you think he would be interested in playing quarterback? Because we'll give him the ball. He can run it a ton, My dad's like, I don't know, man. Like, we can ask him. And they asked me, and I think I cried for like 3 nights straight.
Because every kid wanted to be a running back.
Yeah, being a little, I was being soft about it, and had to just play quarterback and ended up having a really good year, and I had a lot of fun playing it. The good thing about quarterback is when you run the ball, a lot of people aren't expecting it, so there's more space. So
you touch the ball every play.
Exactly.
I mean, I've gone years without touching the ball, so.
Yeah, that must be brutal.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. We have a very special guest. Man, it's kind of funny because I literally seen this guy grow up, do some really, really awesome things, pretty close to his family, and now he's just doing tremendous things. We'd like to welcome Trevor Knight. He is the former UNH starting quarterback. He has a camp that he's doing, and now he's an entrepreneur. Thanks for coming in, man.
Appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, very, very talented kid. Feeling weird calling you a kid anymore. You're grown man now. Excited to have you. You got a really awesome story. For those that don't know, grew up, in southern New Hampshire, Nashua/Amherst kid, whatever. However, that all plays out. But son of legendary coach, Coach Knight, still coaching over at Nashua High School South. So we're talking about a football family, this is it, good, New Hampshire football family, quarterback, all of that, you name it. This is like right out of a movie. So let's start at the beginning, man. What was it like, growing up? What got you into football? I mean.
So, believe it or not, you actually probably have more of a part in this than you would even know. Obviously, my dad was a coach. He had been coaching since before I was even born. Coaching at the high school at Nashua before it was just one school. I remember, I don't think I ever missed a game through, my entire life, maybe 1 or 2 from when I was a tiny little kid up through high school. And I think what got me to love the game of football was going to the practices, going to the games, and seeing guys like yourself, right? All the David Zacco, all those guys I grew up watching were just super, super inspirational to me. Because back then to me, I thought they were, you guys are gods, right?
Yeah.
You guys were gods to me. So it's just people I was able to look up to, and like I just had great role models throughout my life with the other coaches on the staff. I had a lot of people kind of take care of me along the way. So people like you that I got to watch when I was on the sidelines, you probably didn't even. Just a little kid out there.
Nah, dude, like I said, I remember seeing him. I was like, he was just always there.
Always there.
Just throwing a football in the back and, all that. So it's just like, did you play other sports or was it just football?
So my dad, people probably think he was just like hammering down on me to play football, and like it really wasn't like that. He would always get me into the sports. I played baseball, basketball, did pretty much everything. He tried to get me to do a little bit of everything, and I think that helped me as an athlete overall, right? Being able to just kind of pick up a sport and play and figure out a way with it. But football was definitely like my passion. I remember when I was a little kid, he'd be like, hey, Trevor, come to Home Depot with me, right? And I'd say, hold on. I'd be like 4 years old. I'd be like, hold on, I gotta get my gear on. I'd throw on shoulder pads, a helmet, a jersey on top.
So you're we're talking like 4 years.
I'll show you some pictures.
Send them to me. We'll post them. Man, so like from the beginning, just love the game.
Yeah, and there's nothing they could have done about it. You know? My dad always said like, hey, I'm not gonna push him towards football, but there's no pull. You couldn't pull me away from the game. I just loved it too much.
Yeah, I was actually. I was talking to your mom the other day, and she said the same thing. She was like, it was not like, obviously your dad being a coach, some people would think, oh yeah, I'm going to make sure that, my kid, it was not that. It was quite the opposite of that. Like you just found it. Like it's just, you just had a pull to it from day one. And it's crazy how like, sports or some things kind of just click and, carry with people, as they grow up.
So I ended up playing quarterback. Didn't love it like my first, couple weeks at it, and then I kind of grew into it.
What age was that when you started playing quarterback?
I must have been around 10 or 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10. But I got forced into it, so it's like a lot of things are like, oh, dad's son's playing quarterback, coach's son's playing quarterback. It's like, I don't want to play quarterback.
It's always like from the outside, it's that optic of like, oh, coach's son, of course, is quarterback. But you're like, we didn't have one, and like they made me play it.
I would do anything to not play quarterback. But that was kind of my mindset back then. And then I kind of grew into the role, started
just like anything, you learn to love it. Like, I mean, I played like receiver and like
I remember
safety.
I think you played every position. I
probably played every position. Then I knew I was getting recruited.
Other than D tackle.
Yeah, I did not play on the line at all. The most I played on the line was tight end, and I didn't even put my hand in the ground. I was just always a stand-up. But I knew I was getting recruited at DN, so like literally halfway through my senior year, I'm like, hey guys, I'm getting recruited at DN, and I haven't really played the position yet. Could I just play? And they're like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I played like because I was outside linebacker.
Yeah.
So I played halfway through my senior year. Then when I was in college, so DN, outside, he gets, he's still a little bit of flash in there.
Of course.
Get some sacks, all that. Then into my sophomore year, I had a couple guys go down on the inside, and they're like looking. I mean, the guys we had on the edge, I mean, these are all NFL players, like Julius and Cody and Lindsey. And like I was a good defensive end, but they're just like, we have more of a need at D tackle. And I just remember I was like, no.
Because then you got that new meal plan.
Oh man, I was like 250. I'm
pretty
like,
ripped up.
I'm like, man. But yeah, like same thing. Like at first, I didn't want I was just like being like a team guy. Like I'm a team guy first and foremost. I was just like, all right, I'll do it. Whatever. I'll actually be able to play a little bit more. But I didn't want to do it at all.
No.
Do it at all. Then obviously the kind of rest is history after that. I kind of embraced. I'm like, all right, well, let me go get a 20-piece from McDonald's every.
I guess this is what you guys want me to do.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about, as we're getting later into high school, quarterback. I mean, all the quarterbacks I ever knew, they always got like special training or anything like that. Did you have that or?
So I didn't. That's like my biggest regret. I mean, there also wasn't anything around that would have actually helped me.
Yeah.
Just kind of why I started doing what I do now.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's my duty. But my dad just had me lifting. I was doing a lot of like the West Side Barbell lifting program. And pretty much just lift, throw a little bit, get faster. But he had me.
You were just being an athlete.
Just being an athlete, playing other sports. So I didn't have any specific training, which as I got later into high school, after my junior season, I was running all over everyone, throwing over everyone. But my mechanics and my footwork, they were just not even there. I was just an athlete chucking it around.
You're
dropping back. I was slinging. Exactly. Glorified running back. But could chuck it around a little bit. And I remember like BC, all these schools recruiting me. They're like, I started getting offers, and not one was to play quarterback. And I'm like, all during my junior year, I'm like, I'm trying to now I want to play quarterback because I want the ball every play. Everyone was offering me to play safety, defensive back,
that's the typical kid's an athlete. We're not
we'll throw him
DB.
at safety.
Yeah.
And I remember when UMass, they first offered me, they're like, hey, we're going to offer you as a safety. We know you love the ball in your hands. You'll be our punt returner, kick returner. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then their next pitch to me was, we got like a crazy FBS schedule because they had moved to FBS. They were in the MAC at the time. And they're like, we're going down playing at Florida game 1 next year. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to play safety against Florida. I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for all that. That's a big jump. Yeah.
I love, believe me, I love running downhill, taking out a 170-pound running back in New Hampshire. But I don't know if I'd love the same taking down a 230 quarterback from 230 running back from Florida that, is really good, So that kind of turned me away from the defense stuff.
Yeah, because you're a safety quarterback.
And I had good film on defense. I was decent enough on defense to get some offers, but I just want to know part of that. Wanted to just play quarterback.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like you were essentially forced into it, then you fell in love with it.
Exactly.
So now it's like, well, I want to play it now. No, I get that.
And then UNH was actually the only school to offer me as a quarterback. I think you or I kind of came in late, but UNH was like, we'll take you as a quarterback. Coach Mack came down. We had a workout at Nashville South. All their coaches came down.
That's awesome.
And they're like, we'll take you as a quarterback.
Whoa. How was your first interaction with Coach Mack?
So he had been coming down. I don't know if they were doing those like camps. They would come to like the Nashville high school.
Yeah, when I was playing, they didn't do that yet.
Yeah. So and I think they made it illegal pretty quick. It was like a quick 4-year thing. I remember like our first year, Coach Cramsey. I think he's at a big school now. But he was their offensive coordinator there.
I remember Cramsey.
You remember Cramsey? And he kind of ran it, and they liked me when I was young, just because I was just a good little football player. Yeah. So 140 pounds. Going up, high pointing the ball over like seniors and stuff. So they're like, Coach Mack would always show me love. Obviously the relationship with my dad helped. But and what's funny is the day they offered me, Cardi, who's now the head coach of Delaware.
Yeah.
You were.
I just missed him, but I heard some stories.
Yeah. So Cardi, he wasn't really on board with offering me a quarterback. He said, they had a meeting like that day about me. They're like, hey, if this kid can throw it all right, like we're just gonna offer him. you know, because he's already has other offers. But we're not going to lose an in-state kid. Let him, if he throws it well enough, we'll let him play whatever position he wants. And this is what Cardi told me afterwards. And after I had thrown, they didn't even have a chance to talk about it. And Cardi like still was unsure about me. And Coach Mack just comes up to me and offers me. And Cardi was like, kind of like, what the fuck?
Such a Coach Mack move.
Cardi was like, that wasn't really in the plans, but it was pretty funny.
That's awesome. So they're truly probably the only quarterback offer.
My only true, they were gonna let me try it out, and Coach Mack said, you know, we'll give you at least like 2 weeks at it. You know, if you're really struggling bad, well, you know, you can play another position.
So that must have been some pressure going into like
it was,
going into college, like knowing that, hey, like I got 2 weeks before they boot me and put me into another position.
Yeah, exactly. But I was super confident. Like when I kind of have an alter ego. Obviously, you probably have one too. When you go out there, just super confident. So I wasn't too worried.
Yeah, and when you get challenged, you're like, bring it.
Like, I love it.
That means that I actually get more excited when you challenge me. When you expect me to do something, it's challenge me, then boom. Like,
think I can't do it, and then you're gonna prove them wrong. You just have a little extra, extra shit to you.
I mean, me going when I went to UConn, not even that far. I mean, I was a kid from New Hampshire. Exactly. I had the biggest chip on my shoulder, and honestly, I think that chip on the shoulder is what made was part of the reason why I had success. Because I mean, I remember going there, and all the kids got to pick their number. Like other guys had single digits at linemen and all this other stuff. Then I go there and I'm just like, here's number 99. I'm like, okay, like no choice, whatever. I was pretty raw, like looking back and
Oh, you're playing. I was literally watching you like catch like probably 15 touchdown passes the year before at receiver.
Yeah, exactly. So they're probably like, oh, we got to take a chance. I mean, this kid doesn't necessarily play this position. So I mean, looking back on it, I definitely get it. But yeah, I had a huge chip on my shoulder because I'm like I'm here, man. I'm not like getting there isn't my definition of success. That's the first step. Like I got there, cool about it. I'm super excited, but I want to keep going. Like I don't want to just go there and just be happy to be there. I want to go there, be the best that I could be. And that was kind of always my mindset going in. And what was your mindset going into?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's what's crazy is like people like you and the other kid from Londonderry, Griffin. Yeah. Like you guys were both made it to the NFL, and prior to that, I mean, I didn't know a single New Hampshire person that was in the NFL or had gone in the last, I don't know, 20-something years.
Yeah, so, probably might have been just outside of, it kind of, your influence. Yeah,
it felt like very unattainable to me. Like I didn't know many people that had gone to play Division I football. The only person I knew was you. Like personally I knew you a little bit. But like that's all I knew. So I was like, I don't even know if this is like attainable. Like, do they even take guys? You know what I mean? So to see you go play in the pros, like get drafted, it was like, damn, I can do this. It kind of makes you as like a New Hampshire kid, you probably didn't realize you had that influence on people, but you made me believe in myself a lot more.
That's crazy. So it's kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah, something you don't even know. But the only problem is there was no skill players. Like no.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because it's like, I mean you get a 6'5" kid that could run. Schools are gonna take a chance on him. Yeah. And same thing with hoops or anything. You got to be big, and that's kind of what me and Griff were. But to be a true skill position, coming out of here, it's tough. Like,
you don't get to go against that competition.
And you'll see like a lot of kids, go to prep schools or private schools. Like, what's your stance on that?
I think with the way the prep schools are now, I think they are great for some kids. Like there are some kids who would be undiscovered had they not gone to prep school. Yeah. So I think it's also the reclassing thing. I mean, everyone's kind of doing it. You can, I think you can either like get mad about it, like, oh, this is bullshit. Everyone's reclassing. This is stupid, ruining the integrity. Or you could just do it as well. You know what I mean? Like everyone else is doing it, you might as well do it too. Not saying like you need to send your kids to prep school. I don't think that. I think like the public schools are do a great job, and I think if you are really good enough, they will find you. Yeah. However, that I truly don't believe that's the case in New Hampshire all the time. Yeah.
Especially situation to situation. Like there's especially in certain parts of New Hampshire. Oh yeah. Like you better go somewhere else, or it's like because like not even saying like it's you got to play against better competition sometimes, and like even Griff he played at New Hampton, but his first 3 years got a lot of eyes on him. He actually came back to Londonderry.
I remember he was playing quarterback.
Yeah,
I really remember him in number 4 played at Brown. Yeah, I remember all those guys, but I remember he was playing quarterback.
Yeah, same thing, just big athlete. They're like, all right, this kid's huge, he can move, just take a chance chance on him. So that's kind of, that's me and Griff. I mean, he's still going 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I'm just proud of him. We're a small group. Even just to make it to college.
Yeah.
It's a small group of
super small.
Especially being in New Hampshire. So
Division I scholarship players in New Hampshire. I mean,
you
could probably count on one hand the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an anomaly. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get pumped. I was like, I feel like I should reach out to every single one of them. Like, we're in a small group, fellas.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. So, all right. So we talked about. So let's kind of parlay. So you didn't get before obviously getting to college. You get great coaching when it comes to specifically the quarterback position. So let's kind of talk about what you're doing now, and I'll let you know.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm doing now is I was very lucky enough to play Division I college quarterback, which again, not a lot of kids from New Hampshire are. I was able to start there for 3 years, which was also really very lucky to be able to have that opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And I got to go learn from a bunch of pros for a full year. So I feel like I put a lot into this game. And it's kind of my time to give back now, just because I have so much knowledge that it's like, man, if I had this when I was young, I would be playing football right now.
Yeah, you almost feel weird, like I've attained all this knowledge, and now like if you don't give it back, you're almost afraid you're going to lose it.
Exactly.
I coached for a year. I loved it. It was tough for me. I just had my third kid, and I was gone all the time. But still, I'm like, I have to do a little bit. So I get a couple kids, one day a week just to coach, because I was like, I need to pour this information into you guys, because it's like it's too valuable just to go to waste. So
it's almost like our duty. Like we're lucky to get those opportunities. So it's like I feel like it's kind of our duty to give back to the community and to the kids. Because what would you do with all that? How much better would you have been with all the information you're able to give these kids?
100%.
It's insane. UConn would have been an afterthought. You could have gone you would have been able to go anywhere. So
I love my Huskies though.
You love the Huskies, of course. Very happy the stars aligned the way they did. Of course.
100%.
But you always got to think kind of what you always got to wonder what if so that's kind of what I think. I'm not going to let any kid that works with me not get the best training they possibly can.
So did you know you're always going to do that, or when football was done, how did that? Obviously when at the end of every athlete goes through this at some point, some middle school, high school, college, professional.
Yeah.
There comes a day where that's the last day you put on the pads or lace up the shoes.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It's kind of funny. The year I graduated, obviously do the pro day stuff, all that. So after the draft, I didn't get signed by anyone, which I'm not surprised, because I kind of had not the best pro day circuit because my shoulder wasn't healed. So it's come watch me throw 50%. It's just not good. Ran some good times, which gave me some interest.
What'd you
run? 4.48 40. 6.75 L drill.
Let's go.
I think it's just a 4.2 5.10
Yeah.
Slipped a little bit. Kind of a little upset about that.
You get 2 shots and all right, that's it. But you do that.
So
all right, I see.
I had some decent times, which gave me some interest. I worked out with the Raiders as a receiver.
Yep.
I'm just I don't know what I'm doing out here. But so ended up kind of having some time in between the NFL draft and CFL summer. So after the NFL draft, I'm just got very discouraged.
Yeah.
BC Lions in Canada were like, if you don't go anywhere, we're gonna sign you. Didn't go anywhere. They didn't sign me. Training camp started. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I never would have thought in a million years. Tons of people, all my UNH coaches were coming up to me after my last game.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, just wanted you to know, you're far from over playing football. You got a lot of football ahead of you. Keep your head up. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn, I might be done. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, my buddy Stavros Anagnost, his dad was business partners with this guy Brian Michael, and his son name is Joe Michael, which may sound a little bit familiar. He was he was 2 years ago, he was New Hampshire Player of the Year. He was a stud.
Gotcha.
But when he was a rising sophomore, he was a 4th or 5th string for Bedford High School.
Yeah.
Brian Michael, Joe's dad, found out that I was kind of just home, and he's asked Stavros, my friend, he's like, hey, would your buddy Trev have any interest in training Joe, my son? And then I wasn't working. I was still working out, trying to
you're training, but
you
work out for 2 hours, 2-3 hours. You still got a lot of day left.
Yeah, a lot of day left. So I was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, how much are they gonna pay me? Just curious. And they're like, oh, I'll give you $60 a workout. I'm like, kidding me? $60 an hour? I'm fresh out of college.
Yeah, that's big money.
Yeah, that's big money. So a couple days, 5 days a week, I'm lining my pockets up.
Yeah.
With a fat $300 a week.
Yeah.
For me, I was living at home. I had no, I had to pay for gas and some smoothies or whatever the heck I wanted. So I started doing that. I posted a couple videos online of us training, and then more people like locally, kind of you know the Nashua, Merrimack area, Hollis. I got the shirt from Sean Holland. Yeah. So that kind of snowballed, got some more people. Then Joe went on to go from 4th, 5th string to starting that year. Led Division I in yards and touchdowns as like a 150-pound sophomore, just because he had super good feet, good. Like, he was a stud before I got to him. I don't think they didn't really know it yet, and he just needed to put some pieces together.
Yeah, and sometimes half of coaching is giving kids confidence.
I was gonna say confidence is everything. So boost it up with a ton of confidence. You know that very well. And that kind of went well. However, like late in the summer, right in the beginning of the season, Winnipeg called me and wanted to bring me up to hop on their practice squad. Yeah. So I was like in the middle of these training, I'm like, hey guys,
gotta go.
Gotta go. Literally, I mean, you know how it is. It's like a 2-day turnaround. Hey, you have your passport?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. They're like, all right, we'll get you a flight for Sunday. We'll see you. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
It's like Friday afternoon. I'm like, okay.
It goes from like a very, very normal life. You almost get into the position where you don't even think it's happening. Like, it's even going to happen, but you're going through the motions, and it's like phone call. You're like, damn, like this is real now. Like,
and the bad part is I kind of I had so many kids I was training towards the end of the summer. I stopped working out for like 3 weeks. I stopped throwing, stopped lifting, because I'm like, man, they're not going to call me. Like, I guess I'll try and get I'll get healthy, run some better times, and throw way better at the next pro day. We had Blake Prince. We had some good guys that people are going to come out to. So like, I'll get some guys to receive. I'll dot up. They'll be all over me. So that was kind of my plan, which is why I was taking a little break on my body. And then they called me, and I'm like, dude, I just lost like 7 pounds of muscle. I'm like, you lose it quick. I
swear it happens whenever you think it's not gonna.
Yeah. So as soon as I let my guard down, I got signed by them. Went up there, was on and off the practice and active roster. A great experience. But so then when I came back, that's when COVID hit. And then, around like 3 weeks after COVID, this kid started hitting me up like, hey, can we train? So driving all over New Hampshire, like sneaking around,
Yeah, because we're not supposed to be
there. It's like, all right, me throwing with 2 kids is not gonna make this any bigger than it is. And I know we were getting thrown off of fields. Like one time a cop came up, we were on a turf field. He's like, hey guys, like I just got a call, you can't be out here. He goes, but if you go over to the grass, I didn't see it. So we're like, all right, okay, so we have to move over there. Like we're the only people, people out there, right? So it's like whatever. Then it kind of started going again, and they canceled the CFL season. That was my second year on contract. So I just went all in on the training. Like that fall, I was like, kind of training slowed down. I was like, dang. So
I know, like that's the thing. It's like you're trained, and the kids got to go back to play football.
I'm like, dang. So I'm supposed to be playing football right now. That's how I'm supposed to be making my money. But I'm like, we're not playing. CFL is not going to pay us, right? It's not like they don't have that much money. They're not going to pay us for not going to play. So I had to kind of just figure it out. Had to get like another job selling for this, technology events company.
Oh man, I've done it all. Like after, same dude. You get like when that reality hits, it's like, is this sales? Like what do I want to do?
What do I want to do?
Like I coached. I did pharmaceuticals, med device. Then I'm like, all right, I think real estate's my lane.
Real estate, kind of had to just figure it out. That December, they called me and said, hey, we're not going to renew your contract we're not going to, re-sign you. And I'm like, I get it. I mean, my last healthy film that you've seen me is 2017. Now we're going on to our 2021 season. So it's like, it's a business, I had great relationships with the coaches, my offensive coordinator, my quarterback coach, my head coach. Like, we were boys, So it's just like, it just shows you it is a business at the end of the day.
100%,
You're so close with these people. They're like family, They're like 1 second they're family, the next they want. It's like they actually want nothing. They don't want nothing to do with you, but it's like they're moving on.
Yeah, it's when you're in it, it's tough because like you feel like it's so personal and anything like that.
Yeah.
But like even like when you remove yourself from it, it's like, dude, you're hurt or like whatever. Exactly. It's almost like of course we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
But like when you're on the other end of that, you're like,
feels like the world's.
We got no loyalty.
Yeah,
like, come on,
bro. I thought we were.
You see my film from 4 years ago? Like I was nice. I promise. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like. Yeah, that one hurt because it's like, dang. So ended up getting like Toronto. Showed a ton of interest. And there everyone was super interested, but kind of nothing really came about, and I was kind of just, again, like there was no quarterbacks around New England that were playing anything professional football. I had no one to like kind of lean on in like the quarterback sense. And like, what does this happen? Like I had no one. So that's one thing that was kind of frustrating for me, just because no one around me had that an experience like that. I couldn't like, get motivation. Like now I'm training guys. I'm training this kid who's playing in the XFL. Connor Dagenhart, where like he got, he went to mini camps with Chiefs in Seattle and they didn't sign him, and he's like, these guys, these teams are supposed to sign. You know how it works, right? These teams are supposed to sign me, they didn't sign you. This team is supposed to sign you, they didn't sign you.
Yeah.
So he was super discouraged, like talking about hanging up. I'm like, dude, shut your fucking mouth. Like, you're not hanging up. You are so far from done from playing football. Like, you're gonna get signed by the XFL. Keep working out. Like, you know what I mean? I needed someone like that in my corner.
Yeah.
That I like, I mean, my dad for sure was like, thought I could play and stuff, but I'm like, he's like, he hasn't done it. Like, how many people has he known that has done it? Like, I don't even think this is attainable. So I got discouraged from that and kind of like slowed down my working out, stopped really going to workouts. I went to like this hub workout.
Yeah.
I thought I killed it, and then nothing came about of it, and it was just like more discouraging, Meanwhile, another quarterback I threw with there, he played at Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought he was like terrible. I'm like, this kid sucks. I'm like, this kid played at Michigan and like was good there. Like, I wish I went to Michigan. I would have won the Heisman.
Yeah.
And then he gets like drafted 1 overall in the USFL draft, and I'm like, I see that. I don't even get a call. I'm like, dude, fuck this. I'm done with this shit. Like,
it's like very, very few people, especially once you get to that level, when you start to get into the professional level. Very, very few people walk away like on their own terms. Like, I'm good, and I'm putting the game down. It's always like it's almost like a divorce.
It's like a nasty divorce.
It's a divorce, but you're the one who still wants to be in the marriage, and the other one has nothing. They want no parts of you.
They want no parts of me.
They've already moved on. They got a new girgirlfand. Like whatever. Like oh man, it's just like then you're bitter for a little bit.
Super bitter, and I'm like, I don't even want to do this coaching shit. Like, like, I don't even want to be around the game. So
dude, I remember like my when I truly realized I was done. I was like, man, I didn't want to watch football.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching it because I love it, but I'm just like pissed. I'm like, this guy got reached.
Yeah.
Like he got pancaked.
Terrible technique.
Yeah. Like, what is he doing? Like all that other stuff. But yeah, I mean that's like the
highs and lows.
Yeah. Like being of an athlete, it's, and especially like when you get to the end.
Yeah.
Like, the end of it is just like, man, it's very, very few people can walk out like Brady, all the championships, whatever, and all that other stuff. But
it's like a very, very few in the whole entire world that I've ever been able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So now where's the academy at now? Like you got clients, you got college, high school kids, a couple pros.
Yeah, so it started off just working with like kind of the Southern New Hampshire kids. Got hooked up. Obviously, the guys at UNH helped me a ton, putting me in contact with all sorts of people, like Frizzoco, tons of guys like were putting me on to people. So I definitely got a ton of support from like them. Got connected with the Chelmsford head coach, George Peterson. He's an All-American. I think he had a couple years in the league.
Oh, nice.
From UNH. He's a head coach there now. He put me on with all of his quarterbacks. Started getting good names like in these towns. Started working with the Lowell guys. So then I started getting into Massachusetts, and it kind of just blew up. I mean, now I'm coaching. I could have 6 groups a week with 10 kids at them. At each group.
That's big.
Plus like another 15 one-on-one sessions. So it's like kind of with the snap of the fingers. It kind of in 2-3 years just put my head down and grinding out with these guys. It's kind of organically grown. I mean, I haven't spent $1 on marketing or anything. It's kind of just all been organic.
Yeah, you put it out there, and like you talk to the right people, and you do good by people, they're gonna connect you. Like obviously you did by the UNH guys, the Chelmsford, Lowell. They're gonna be like, man, it's a great coach. Like when you're good at something, people are just gonna refer you to the next person. Like, they're just gonna, because it's like there's not a lot of what you do around.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, people do it, but just like, to get somebody who played in college, had a sniff at the pros too, like has that caliber, and that's one thing, but also to be able to communicate, know the game, and motivate the kids, and like that's another part. That's like the intangible part of coaching. It's like, obviously mechanics and is one thing, but that confidence, that having someone believe in you, having someone kind of take you through the process, because a lot of it's unknown. Like as a New Hampshire athlete, like
it's all unknown.
It's like everything I was doing was kind of almost happening for the first time. Like I would go all out, but I'm like, sometimes you almost kind of like, am I doing the right thing?
Yep.
So to have someone like you been there to give these guys guidance, man, that's awesome. That's incredible.
And I think it's helpful, coming from what you do as well. It's like, when you're coaching your D-line, like, guys, I played in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I went to college. I played in the NFL. I was in your shoes at one point. Being able to kind of relate with them, right? And you're young enough to relate with them very well. And you've had great coaches, right? Also obviously been around an insane amount of great coaches. So you've seen it done the right way for so long and so many years through so many people that like it's probably super natural for you to just do it the right way, because kind of take things from each guy's, like take things from my dad, take things from Cardi, from Coach Mac,
100%,
from O'Shea up in Canada. Like you kind of take stuff from everybody and kind of mold yourself into like the best coach,
Oh yeah, like when I was teaching my kids, I'm saying stuff that like my coaches were saying to me, and then like when I say it, I'm like, I really just said that.
Yeah.
Like that was his saying.
Yeah.
Like now it's like mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, especially I think my college coach, Coach Hughes, he was such a motivator. Because especially like the position, defensive line, there's not a whole lot mentally you gotta know. Like it's a very, very physical and a very, very reaction, like almost like boxing type of position, because everything happens now. It's super physical and all that, but like, do I need to know? Like half the time the kids don't even know what's going on behind them, but like it doesn't matter. As long as I'm in my gap and do this.
You gotta get your gap.
Yeah, and all this, but it's like, so that's why I'm like, guys, it's not that complex. Sometimes it kind of stinks when someone else has to line you up. And you're like, but
waiting to make the Ripper Liz call.
Yeah. Like it's a Ripper Liz, because my whole world is dependent on that. But I'm just like, you mentally got to be tapped. Like you got to be so motivated because you're walking into a double team.
Yeah.
Like that's every play. Like you look at Aaron Donald, someone who's that dominant at what he does, he gets double teamed like 85% of the time, and he still makes plays. Like it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Like my mom, she would watch and like, what? How come there was double teaming you? That's how come you're not making it. I'm like, Mom, it's my job to get double teamed. But I was like, she's like, well, they don't block the other guy. I'm like, you just don't get it. But like that mental component is huge, because I'm like, I keep it real. I'm like, if you're not motivated working with me, that ain't gonna happen on the field.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, go take somebody on, go run down the field, go make plays. That's how you stand out. Yeah. When you get double teamed all the time, you don't have a lot of opportunities to stand out. You're not getting the ball 30 times and need one breakaway run. Like that's not how this works. Like you gotta make stuff happen. Yeah. So I love that, just because I've had a lot of coaches pour into me, that mental component. Obviously, there's a fit in like the size, the strength, the speed. Yeah. That's one thing. That's everybody's working on that. Yep. And the technique itself, but like, to be able to put yourself mentally in a space, and really, like I said, it's that confidence to try the new technique. Yeah. So a lot of times it's like, well, I'm not good at it, so I'm not gonna try it. Or I like doing it this way. I'm like, well, when you do it this way, it only takes you this far. Yeah. So it's really giving the kids the confidence to try it. I'm just like, trust me. I was like, I've been there. I had that same thought going through my head, like this ain't gonna work. Yeah. But it's that constant, staying on top of them, pouring into them, and that's that's especially crucial at the quarter. If anyone needs to be coached, it's the quarterback.
A little extra, yeah.
I'm like, come on, like the stuff that you guys know, like you literally know what every single person on the field is doing. Yeah. Like I know what everyone's doing because I know football, but you actually know what everyone's person is doing, like what technique they're using, like why this guy's inside or outside leverage, why is his line lined up that way, why we have our offensive line set a certain way, because it's like you gotta know all that.
You gotta know it all.
That's like, so like what you're doing is like, it's God's work really, because it's, not a lot of people get that, that deep level type coaching. Quarterback academy, it's blown up, and obviously that's testament to, your ability to coach, connect with a lot of these players. Had a great career at UNH. I want to step back into that a little bit. What were some of those big moments that stand out to you while you were at UNH?
I think about our times beating Maine, right?
Yeah.
We lost to them one time when I was there, and I was hurt. So unfortunately, I was in a sling. Yeah. But seeing them run across a field, grabbing the musket, which is what we play for, like a little trophy, while I was in a sling, was probably like the lowest point of my career. Because it's like, we're preseason number 3. We just lost the musket for the first time in, 7-8 years, whatever it was.
And you can do nothing about it.
Can do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what next week's going to bring. I don't know what next month is going to, I don't even know, I don't know what's going on. So that was my worst moment. I know you asked for my best.
No, I mean, sometimes
they
go hand in hand.
James Madison was an absolute powerhouse. They were just getting the best transfer. Every year it's like, oh, they graduated this kid, nice. Like, they graduated this kid, nice.
He's like,
nice.
Finally he's gone.
And then, no, they brought in a 4-star NC State transfer that failed out of NC State. It wasn't like he wasn't good enough. They brought in an all-freshman team, Big Ten guy, got hurt last year. He's got a spot taken, so now he's coming here. So it's like, okay, so they just got better there. They got better there. You know, this guy got drafted, but somehow they got better there.
Yeah, like the pedigree of these kids coming in.
It's crazy, crazy.
That was like the #1 landing spot for when kids had to transfer.
Oh yeah,
from like, you know,
because it's state. I mean, they're FBS now, but it's state of the art. Their stadium's incredible. They get great fans. Their facilities are insane. They got 50 different jersey combinations. It was insane playing against them. We lost to them my sophomore year. Lost them by like 4. This is the year they won the national championship. Yeah. Actually had a really good game there, so I kind of gained some respect from like their coaching staff and stuff. Then we played them in the playoffs at their place, and they were just rolling. Yeah. At this point, they were rolling. They went on to just beating the bag out of everyone on the way to the playoffs.
It was tough place to win over there.
Tough place.
You got to catch those guys on the road.
Got to catch them on the road. Yeah. And they pretty much had our number each year. Yeah. We went there the next year. We stalled out in the red zone like 4 times. Lost 21, maybe it was 17-0. Senior year, you know, we were preseason ranked number 3, I think, behind North Dakota State and James Madison, right? So we were supposed to be really, really good. I get hurt the first game. We end up losing 4 straight. We're starting off 0-4, so it's like we're already out of the playoffs. But I come back. I try and play in most games. I'm playing like in most of the games, but some of them I'm like having to go out. I get popped and like just lose feeling in my arm. Like can't really throw the football or play quarterback if you can't move your right arm, your throwing arm. Yeah. So we end up playing them. We're like, I don't know, maybe 3-5 at this point, something like that. They were, I think, number 2 in the country, rolling just like they're supposed to. Yep. And they came into our place, and this is finally I pulled my hamstring the first game back. So my goal, my plan when I hurt my shoulder was I'm going to come back and I'm going to rush for over 1,000 yards this year. Yeah. Like, I can't throw, but they can't stop me running, so I'm just going to run all over everyone.
I'm pulling it.
Pulling everything. Don't care, because it's going to give us a good chance to win. Yeah. And ended up pulling my hamstring on a play I wasn't even supposed to pull again. Yeah. It was I don't know if you remember, 40 cap, inside zone, split zone. A lot of green grass over there. Yeah. If I see green grass, I'm going to go. Yeah. So I pulled it, went. Linebacker came out. This is a scout team, red zone scout team, Wednesday practice.
Oh, this is during practice.
Wednesday practice. Boom. Pulled my hamstring.
Those are the worst.
Pulled my hamstring on a Wednesday practice. And this is the week I'm coming back from my shoulder, so there's tons of buzz. It's like, oh, we're going to get back. We're going to win them all. We're going to win 7, we're going to win 7 straight games. Yep. They're going to have to put us in the playoffs. Yeah. Right? Because I'm back, yada, yada, yada. Pulled my hamstring. End up somehow playing that next week. But finally, fast forward like a month later, my hamstring's starting to get back. Right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't know if you've had I'm sure you've had plenty of, small tissue like stuff like hamstring. Yeah,
hamstring's more of like a skinny person injury.
Yeah. Maybe a hip flexor. Yeah, a hip flexor.
Tons of shoulders, tons of knees.
So hamstring. Started feeling a little good. So we're playing JMU, and I'm just watching them warm up, and I'm just like, dude, I'm so sick and tired of getting my ass kicked by these guys. Yeah. If there's one thing I do this year, it's gonna be beating them. So I just walking up and down the sidelines, like just getting myself fired up. Fuck these guys. Like I cannot wait. They have no idea what's about to hit them, because they thought I was like, they thought I was hurt. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, they're like, it's gonna be a sack fest.
Yeah. Yep. Right. They had Ohio State here, Penn State there, Wake Forest. Their whole front sevens.
Oh yeah, all trans. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. We end up just playing like we're throwing. I mean, I just kind of I played out of my mind. My receivers, they played out of their mind. Everyone kind of just played out of their mind.
It's like that first game where everything kind of comes together.
Everything came together. I mean, we're hitting stuff like our receivers. I remember our first touchdown. We broke my roommate Kieran Presley broke on a corner. Mm-hmm. They had a kid, Jimmy Moreland. He got drafted in like the 4th round that year. Broke him.
I remember that.
Toe tapped in the back corner of the end zone, like a 40-yard touchdown to open up our first series. And then we had a pick 6 against their quarterback was Ben DiNucci. Yep. He got drafted quarterback. Yeah. Pick 6 him. Next series We strip sack them. We score again. We're up 21-0 within like the first 10 minutes of the game, and it's just like, damn, this is happening.
They're like, how the hell is this happening?
How is this happening? So they kind of come back. Whatever. We're fighting. Fourth quarter, I drop back. We're on our own like 20. I drop back, put a little move on their backer, falls on the ground, break his ankles, and then I'm just like an 80-yard touchdown. That's probably the
moment,
right?
It's like big game, big play.
Yeah. That was probably the moment. Just because there's it was such a down year. It's like, this sucks. But a down year, you beat the number 2 team in the country. It feels pretty awesome.
Hey, thanks for coming in, man. And we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I got a couple gifts for you too. I got the small town famous right there.
Go. I actually have a bucket hat for you too. I know. Thinking back in the day, you were like, if you have any XLs, let me know.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring you one today, but
bet. Hey, man.
Forgot it.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.